podcast where we dive into the world of sustainable engineering with the industry's leading minds. Today we're honored to have Michael Skovgaard Jensen with us, a visionary in the field of water and energy systems. With over 18 years at Grundfos Holding AS, Michael has been at the forefront of developing cutting-edge solutions that are transforming how we manage water resources. His expertise and leadership have made a lasting impact on the global water industry, and we're excited to explore his journey and the innovations that are shaping a more sustainable future. Join us as we discuss how Michael's work continues to drive change in the quest for a greener, more efficient world.
Hello everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Step T with El Sayed. This episode is a special edition of our podcast because we are recording this podcast those days from a very unique conference that we have here in Toronto. We are hosting here in Toronto the IWA World Water Congress and Exhibition Conference. So this is a special edition of our podcast. And we are so delighted that we are meeting many people from different countries and different researchers, different generation, young professional, expert professional. So we are lucky to have one of the leading companies in the world in this conference, Grundfos. And we are happy to share with you some of the activities of that company. And we are happy to have with us today, Michael. How are you doing, Michael?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here.
Okay. By the way, what is your favorite drink?
My favorite drink, I guess it's tea. I'm drinking.
Okay,
I'm a tea drinker. Yeah.
There you go. So good. So we're promoting for the tea. So still
exactly.
tea is a good one.
So I'm drinking tea in the morning. So
yeah. Okay. I myself and the audience wants to know more about Michael. Who's Michael?
Michael is 60 years old. 61 years
young.
old, actually.
Okay.
I'm originally from Denmark.
Okay.
Working at a company called Grundfos. I started in Grundfos in 1994. So I've been in Grundfos for many years.
30 years, man. How can you tolerate one company for 30 years?
I've been away for a couple of years at a Danish company that was doing wind turbines.
Yeah.
But I had the opportunity to get back to Grundfos, and I took it. So, and I'm very happy about working with the company Grundfos.
For sure, staying 30 years with a company.
Sure, but also it's a big company, so you have the possibility to do many different things. So I've not been doing what I'm doing all my life. I've been doing different things.
That's an interesting part. Yeah. But aside from the company and your profession, we're going to come to this point.
Yeah. We
want to know more about Michael, about your childhood, about your high school, primary school, about the thing that people don't know.
Sure. Yeah. I grew up in Denmark with my mom and dad, and I have a sister.
Okay.
So moved from home when I was 18 because I wanted to study to be an engineer. So I started to be an engineer in a town called Aalborg in the northern part of Denmark, and graduated in '87 as an engineer in fluid dynamics.
Engineering fluid dynamics.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then I got a job in a NATO institute in Brussels, in Belgium.
Okay.
Working with different environmental fluid dynamics problems. And there I got the opportunity to take a Ph.D. So I took a Ph.D. Combined in Manchester and in Denmark.
So it's a joint program for PhD between UK and Denmark.
It was funded by the International Energy Agency, actually.
Okay.
So that was very fortunate. So I have a PhD in fluid physics. So
that's a tough topic, by the way. When physics comes with fluid, this is a challenging one. But
But it was very, very interesting, and I had the opportunity to live both in Belgium and in Manchester. So that was fantastic.
Living in Belgium and Manchester, I would imagine you were playing soccer, or do you have a connection with football?
Yeah, being Danish, of course. Then football is, of course. So I went to Heysel Stadium a couple of times.
Okay.
But also Manchester.
Really?
So at that time I was a Manchester City guy. So now I'm more Manchester United. But so that was fantastic as well. I lived with two friends in an apartment, and we had fun and studied at the same time.
So I assume that you are super happy in the last 4 or 5 years for Manchester City, that dominating the soccer worldwide, dominating the Premier League, and always there in the picture.
Yeah,
I think that's something interesting.
Yeah, but actually, personally, I'm a more individual sports. Mm-hmm. I've been sailing all my life, and windsurfing, and
I thought you're gonna be a bike man or a bus, because
I do a lot of biking as well. So I'm biking a lot as well. So my son picked up biking, so we spend a lot of hours together talking about different things and competing on bikes.
Competing with your son? Don't. I did that for something that I stopped, because they always win.
Yeah. So
even if we are better, they have to win.
Yeah, but he was way better than I. So So he also spent more time on the bike. So
okay. So it's my genes. You maybe transfer that to.
Yeah. And then at that time I met a girl, which is now my wife, and so she's called Inge. It's a good old Danish name. And she works with fashion design, so it's a completely different world.
I see your eyes getting glory when you said her name. Means that you love her, man.
Definitely. Otherwise, you don't stick around for more than 30 years.
Okay.
So, yeah. And we have 2 kids. My son, I already talked about, and we have a girl as well. So my son is a lawyer, and my girl is studying.
So you can do travel as much as you can. You don't need to worry. You have a lawyer in you.
Exactly. So that's always good to have a lawyer. And my daughter is studying to be an environmental engineer, actually, in Denmark.
So now you influence there to some extent.
Yes. So she picked up the technical gene.
She's going to give you a hard time, because now she's going to keep asking you more, and one of the discussion will be a little bit tough at home.
Yeah, but I see that as a positive thing. That she really likes studying what she's studying, and we have a lot of discussions.
Okay.
So that's also interesting.
So is it all time you are at the same page, or sometimes you have a different opinion?
We have different opinions, but that's actually good. And I think it's not only a different opinion, it's also different generations. So, of course, he has a different view of how life should be and problems lying ahead and these kind of things. So she's been motivated of these things.
So based on that discussion, how do you see the young generation sees the life versus us as an old generation?
Yeah, it's
hard.
The old, young generation is full of energy and have new ideas and no boundaries and these kind of things.
Which is good.
I have grown up to be a boring man with all these boundaries and that I have done. But on the other hand, we have experience. So I think a combination of young energy and ideas and a little experience is a good mix.
It looks like you have a very exciting and interesting life at home, but I'm expecting same thing at your job as well.
Yeah.
So if you tell us a little bit about your role in the company, if you can just elaborate, what are you doing in the company?
Yeah. So of course, Grundfos is a big company and it's growing every year. It was not so big when I started. I joined Grundfos in '94 and we're about 4,000 people at that time. So now Grundfos is about 20,000. But already at that time, I thought it was a very big company for an engineer.
Yeah.
So for many years, I was R&D manager.
Okay.
Developing new products, and these these kind of things. But since 2012, I've really been in business development and strategy development and these kind of things. More or less always in water treatment.
Okay.
So I came into water treatment because we in Grundfos developed a very innovative product at that time. It was a digital dosing pump, and that has proven to be extremely good for water treatment applications. So I started to learn about water treatment and chemistry and these kind of things, and that's slowly got me more and more into water treatment, which I've been dealing with since.
But you have the basics for hydraulics and tests.
Yeah. So and in Grundfos we work with many different stakeholders, customers and research institutes and young and old. So I've been fortunate to learn a lot.
So what is the main products that your company is providing?
So Grundfos is the biggest pump company in the world. So we have a lot of different pumps, some general types of pumps, but also more specialty types of pumps. So I think we have 125 different product lines.
Oh.
And then we have gradually evolved into delivering systems, pump systems, but also digital solutions where we can provide data into all kind of applications. But as I'm primarily working with water treatment, then that is an important part of that. And then a couple of years ago, we decided strategically also to make a new business leg that is doing water treatment solutions.
Oh.
So
you are moving to the treatment side.
So we do both.
Okay.
We do components and pump technology.
Yes.
And digital solutions on top of that.
Okay.
But we also have started a platform and a new business venture where we can do solutions directly to end customers.
Okay.
And we have acquired a number of companies over the last couple of years where we can do that. And hopefully we can get the synergy of being able to do good technology and pumps, but also put them into innovative systems. So Grundfos' main strength is that we are good at standardization, modularization, but also doing good quality product that can industrialized.
Okay.
So our contribution to the water treatment area would be these kind of things that not big engineered constructions, but these kind of more modular and industrialized systems. So that's our vision.
I think that's interesting, especially the digitalization, because now it's the trend of the digital water in general for either water treatment or wastewater treatment. How you see the future of the digital water?
So it's slowly evolving. I think we started 15 years ago doing electronic products and they become more and more digital.
Yep.
Meaning that the electronics became digital, the data that the product can give to systems are more and more intelligent. So all these data, of course, are being now connected. So that gives a lot of knowledge into how systems are run.
Yep.
And typically when you look at dynamic data in a water treatment system or an energy system, that makes you realize a lot of new things.
Yes.
Because before we only looked at the pump from time to time or the water treatment system from time to time, but now we have data all the time, and you actually get the new experiences and new knowledge, and we can make things much more efficient and these kind of things.
Absolutely, especially on the risk assessment situation. If there is an emergency or something like that, you get notified in that
Exactly, and
immediately, and you can act faster.
You can act online, but you can also act remote.
Yes,
which is a big advantage for not only municipalities but also industries that are, many industries relying on water for their production. So that's really where we are right now.
Yeah.
And of course that keeps evolving. And of course, when we do research in this area, we rely more and more on expert systems and these kind of things to look at the data and get new knowledge out of our experiments.
Yep.
It was actually quite interesting here at the IWA conference. I was with a team that arranged an industrial forum yesterday.
Okay.
And there was a guy, Elaine from Xylem. He had made some new tests on cooling towers. Cooling towers are one of these industrial applications that use most water.
Yes.
But he had made some full-scale tests, and in order to just investigate the data, they needed expert systems. And that made the data treatment way quicker than we could normally do it. So these kind of things comes in.
Yes.
And who knows, whatever comes in a couple of years, I mean.
Exactly, with that kind of revolution, technology and artificial intelligence, after 2 years, you don't know how it's going to be the situation.
But for sure, the loop going back into improving products are getting quicker and quicker because we get more and more data. So that has been one of the biggest change, I think, for development of our products.
I totally agree with you on that. Maybe about a little bit burden on the companies like you. They have to really be up to date and go with that new concept because other competitors are there as well. So if I'm a utility or I'm a customer and looking for a pump systems and whatever the type, why would I choose Grundfos?
So the value proposition of Grundfos has always been high quality products. The other area that Grundfos always has been developing is energy efficient products.
Okay.
So actually, with the newest product that Grundfos has on the market, we can save up to 30 to 40% of energy by integrating electronics in our pumps, but also looking at the dynamics of the systems. So that would be another reason to look, and many pumps in the municipalities are big and using a lot of energy. So, and the third thing that we always have done in Grundfos is that even the products get more and more complex, we would like them to be easy to use.
Yes.
So sometimes that can be profiles in the product itself, but it could also be using apps or connecting them to a cloud system where you can have algorithms that will make that. So I would say high quality products, energy efficient products, and easy to use and integrate.
And how is the service after selling? Are you providing that service?
We are providing service. Grundfos is a global company, and the world is not functioning the same way in all different countries.
Regions, yes.
So of course we have to do the service in a way that the market is structured, but also how the end user is expecting it. So for instance, in Europe, we will do service very direct.
Okay.
With Grundfos' own service technician, but maybe in the US where we are more structured in distribution and these kind of things, then we will provide service with authorized service partners that typically is our reps.
Okay.
So, but for sure we need to we need to
Yes.
have
This is
service and make that available. So, and then new products, we can also service different. So we can connect them to the cloud and then monitor it remotely. And that means we are also able remotely.
And this is the beauty of the
Exactly,
digital.
to provide service. So either if that is when we commission it, or when it's running, or when the product need to change a spare part, or these kind of things. So that's a big difference in the way we can service products.
So you mentioned that the service model, and definitely the model is different if you are dealing in Europe country or versus North America or other. So what is the main market for Grundfos? Is it mainly in Europe, or your customers are mainly where?
Yeah, so I was mentioning Grundfos is the world's biggest pump company.
Yes.
And we have pumps that go into applications in many different customer verticals.
Oh.
So Grundfos is split into 4 divisions. So we have a municipal division that's primarily serving municipal customers. Then we have an industrial division, primarily serving industrial customers, which I'm part of. I'm in industry. Then we have a division that is serving commercial buildings like hospitals and hotels and these kind of things. And then we have a division that is serving domestic customers with different things. So, so one of the big inventions many years ago for Grundfos, that was a circulation pump that circulates hot water and cold water at domestic applications, but also at commercial buildings. So there we have a strong base of that, of course, in Europe. And being in Denmark-based company, Europe is still one of our strong markets. The next biggest market is USA. And for Grundfos, these 2 markets are extremely important. We feel that our products has a good value proposition to these markets, but also these 2 markets are strong in terms of pumps but also water treatment. Then we're definitely also serving Asia and China, and they're growing also. But the 2 biggest markets right now is Europe and US. Or Americas.
As Grundfos is one of the largest company, if it's not the largest company, and producing pumps.
Yeah.
And everything is not going smooth. There are some challenges. So what are the challenges that you see for the pump production sector in the future?
Luckily, many of hydraulic systems, they are functioning because you can put in energy. I'm an engineer, so we talk about energy. And you can put in energy in different ways. Hydraulic energy, we use pumps, or it can be thermal energy that use heat, or it can be chemistry that is conditioning the water in different ways. So luckily, I see that we need to still move a lot of water coming in the future. So I'm not so concerned about the pump market. The pump market will be there, but we need to make it efficient, and because a lot of energy is used in moving water around in the world. We're getting more and more people. They need more and more water. Industry is getting bigger and bigger. They need more and more water. So another challenge is that we simply do not have enough water for all these kind of applications. So we need to look at the water sector in a different way. Locally reuse water and these kind of things. So, some years ago we were relying on nature to clean the water. So now we use too much water, so we need to reuse and clean it. So there will be a lot of new technologies that we need for that space. And I think that's the challenge for the world, and I think we in Grundfos are positioned to help doing something about it. Actually, the purpose of Grundfos is not really pumps. We have a purpose that says that we want to pioneer solutions that can help solve the water and climate problems. So we are very open also to go into other areas if that is needed for solving water and climate issues. But right now, our strong right to play is our extremely powerful pumps. But the technology we have today compared to 10 years ago can save a lot of energy. And we actually signed up for the Science-Based Target Initiative in Grundfos, because we want to be a strong player, or we have a strong incentive via our purpose to save energy, and we signed up for the UN Global Goals 6 and 13 as well. So we have a strong portfolio of technology that actually can help reducing the carbon footprint drastically. So it's a little like a light bulb. 10 years ago, requires 60 watt.
Nowadays,
today it's only 6.
Yep.
And it's the same with the pumps that we have in Grundfos. If you required 1 kilowatt for 15 years ago, now you only require maybe 600 watts. So there is technology at hand that we can bring down the carbon footprint. And I think the same will happen with water over the next couple of years. We need to be able to find solutions that saves water and recycles water, either in industry or in communities.
But trust me, when you are saying that, I got a little bit stressed, because this is a big purpose.
It's a big purpose.
For a company, when you put in your shoulder that you have that purpose of water and climate change, and you want to work hard not only for a business case, but also to save the energy and reduce the carbon footprint as a purpose. This is required a lot of innovation, and mostly it required a lot of research. So it's not anymore a company that's just selling a product or helping to serve a community, but it has to have a lot of. Definitely, you have an R&D department.
Yes.
And, how big is your R&D?
So we have if we look at R&D and product development itself, we have a very big organization of about 800 people. So they're developing new technologies. On top of that, developing products, and then of course bring these products to the market. So and especially the R&D and the technology department has evolved a lot over the last many years. I mean, from being extremely hydraulic and pump oriented, now they have to go into electronics and information technology, but also more system thinking and water treatment systems and these kind of things. So they got a lot of things to do.
So grow significantly.
Yes.
And I would assume that as you have a big R&D department, you would collaborate with the academic researchers and different universities and professors. So
Grundfos has a long tradition on partnering with research, funding Ph.D. students, but also collaborating with other technology companies.
Okay. Yeah. But I believe that if you are collaborating with others, you have to have a very special talent of passion. You
Yeah.
have to be very patient as well, patient and patient. Because you're collaborating with other industry, you have the same language, you have the same mindset. You are a business company, so you are working with. But when you're collaborating with academic researcher or professor who cares more about other stuff, this is required a kind of. What is the major challenge that you face when you collaborate with a professor in a university?
Yeah, of course, we all have different incentives and ambitions and these kind of things. So that can be a challenge, definitely. I mean, we want to develop products. Some want to develop technologies, and some want to develop research papers. But I think when you collaborate with people, the important thing is that you agree on the why.
Yes.
Why are we doing this? So the end goal, at least, is we have the same passion for the end goal, and because that also means that you can relate risk and these kind of things to what the gain is, and if you want to change things, you have to live with risks. So we see that a lot, especially when we are working with end users and regulators and these kind of things. Then you have to realize what is the value and what is the gain and what is the why.
Yep.
Otherwise, you don't perceive the risk the same way, and therefore you don't change things in the same way. So I find when we work as partners, then if we can at least agree on the why, then we can resolve many of the challenges, and we avoid a lot of the discussions.
Yeah.
So I think that increasingly important that we and that is on many different levels. I mean, we are here at IWA.
Yeah.
And it's on management level. We need to realize where we want to go, but it can also be on technology level, it can be on product level, it can be on legislative level, and it can even be on ambitions in different, thought leading communities and these kind of things. But if we can agree on the why, if we can agree on how we solve the watershed issues and these kind of things, then I think we can work with speed and avoid a lot of discussions.
I agree with you with mentioning to IWA conference.
Yeah.
So now I can see Grundfos is one of the main sponsors of the IWA, and I think you have a kind of that long-term relationship and partnership with IWA. So why Grundfos supporting conferences?
Yeah.
And why attending conferences?
So specifically, conferences is important because you present ideas and discuss and inspire each other. So conferences are important. You share knowledge and competence and you gain new knowledge and these kind of things. So the community that is at that conference at least are getting aligned. IWA is a little different because the purpose is the same, but it's in many different levels.
Okay.
So you can discuss ambitions and you can share thoughts and inspire each other how things should be and where we should go. So that's on the thought leadership level. But there's also the technology level, and where we share ideas on research and these kind of things. And it's people that has been in the business for many years that are discussing these things. It's people that are on the technology level, on the business level, but also on the political level. So that gives a broad platform to discuss.
Yeah.
But especially IWA has a long tradition also for supporting academia. both in research, but also in young researchers and students and these kind of things. So you can connect, high and low and these kind of things. So I don't think there's one why we are here. There's a lot of benefits.
Okay, there are a lot of things.
Yeah, and IWA is that kind of platform.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we have the opportunities to show our products for the new generation or for the professionals that are out there. I don't think that's the main purpose of being here, because it's not exactly a sales exhibition, but it's one of the purposes.
Well said. I will come to that point that you mentioned. That is because I attended the opening ceremony, and
Right.
I realized that Grundfos is supporting the young generation significantly. We're going to come to this point, but before that, you are attending many conferences, and I can see now you mentioned to the values of IWA in general as an association, as we have that vision, we have the same thinking, we have the same purpose, so we can work together towards one goal. So when we are on the same page, we are good. But let's say specifically about the conference, because you attend many conferences with many organizations. Why the World Water Congress, the IWA World Water Congress, is different from other conferences that you are attending?
I think IWA is different because it is a broad platform.
Okay.
So typically when we are in other conferences, it's more a specific professional forum. So that can be industrial water reuse, or it can be municipal non-revenue water or something like that. But IWA is a broad organization. It covers thought leadership, legislation, technology, and these kind of things. But it also covers globally a lot of different countries. So it can be developed countries or emerging countries. We can exchange technology that has been used in developed areas of the world, in areas that needs development. We can make a platform for financing these kind of things. For instance, C40 companies are meeting here as well. So I think IWA is that broad platform that
helpful.
Yeah. And the program also illustrates that. It's actually quite hard to figure out what you need to be at, because there's so many interesting
20 sessions.
Exactly. So there is a book like that with different things. So So I think that IWA is different because of that. And then, of course, the number of delegates is also much bigger than in a typical other conference. So I think that's the important part. So there's the official meetings and these kind of things, and then, of course, there's all the meetings where you discuss on where to go and how to collaborate and how to finance and these kind of things.
What has really interested me and catched me from the last conference in Denmark when I was there, and this conference, that like you are sharing that vision with IWA about believing on the young generation.
Yes.
And that's something amazing. Not every industry having that purpose and that vision on believing in the young generation, and not only believing, but supporting.
Yes.
Because we believe, so we should support that young generation. And I got to know that is okay. They announced at the opening ceremony about the new proposal that Grundfos is training the young generation.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate a little bit about the effort that Grundfos is doing for the young water professional and why they are doing that?
For a company like Grundfos, I mean, talent is critical. I mean, we need to develop talent, but also because Grundfos have that kind of purpose, we also need to be doing other things than what we just do on pumps and systems and these kind of things. We need to investigate other possibilities and these kind of things. So the young professionals and the young generation can can do both. I mean, it's definitely a talent pool that we hope we can attract some of the young talent to Grundfos by supporting them. And of course, if they want to choose, or they should choose Grundfos, of course we need to put some effort into it. So that's one thing. And the other thing is that the young professionals with their energy and new thinking and these kind of things can inspire to other things. So it's important for us not only to indoctrinate pumps, but really do a lot of different things. I mean, because we need different ideas. So it gives an opportunity to have a broad range of different things. So that can be from water-related financials into technical investigations, or even totally new solutions. So young professionals for Grundfos are extremely important, both business-wise, but also inspirational-wise.
Okay, that's amazing, because we always say that the best investment is investment in human. And when I saw that kind of line of Grundfos is really believing on it, it's not show, it's believing on it, is doing it. I said the last time was the first time, but now it's going, and actually it's investing a lot of money, not necessarily for a young professional that they have a potential to be with Grundfos, but no, they are just investing on advancing the skills of those young generation, because they're going to be the leaders for the next generation, which have that. When you have a purpose, you are aiming to to protect the society. You need to fight the climate change. You need to help on that crisis of water. That's really inspiring to me when you have that purpose and you have strong steps. That toward that is like, it's not selfishness. So you are not really training for your company or training young generation, wherever they're gonna go. If one of them, like your company, are willing to continue support, that was really something.
I think there is another aspect also for Grundfos, is that we think the energy issues and the water issues are important.
Okay.
And we can see on the young people that they think it's important as well. So that kind of dynamics is also interesting, that we have a young generation that think the water-related and energy-related questions is important, and they are concerned about it. Then we feel more motivated to engage, and so it's a two-way situation. So that's definitely something that we enjoy.
I would just say on behalf of all the water expertise and the young water professional, I would like to thank very much Grundfos for their support for the young water professional, because this is something we all have to look for it and to support and share that. So on behalf of everybody on the Water Society, we thank anyone that giving support to the young water professional, because this is gonna the leaders for the next generation, and those the people gonna make it change. And if you put that inside them, that is, you have to give back. You think about a purpose. You have a purpose. You don't think about what you are gaining or something like that. This is a big value to put on the leaders for the future that can make that a change. So I really would like to give a very special thanks to Grundfos for that amazing thing, because to me it's something amazing. It's a great initiative. It's an original initiative for me. So thank you so much for Grundfos. Lastly, Mike, I don't know, time is flying, and I think we can still talk for hours and hours, but if we're coming to the last thing, this is your camera. And if you want to send a message and advice, anything you want to say to the young water professional, what would you tell them?
I think you should just keep being an inspiration and push the limits and challenge the old generation, because the young generation is the people that needs to do, that will do the change that we need. We need to think differently, and we need to work across sectors differently, and we need to be able to take risk in order to make change.
Well said, Mike. And I like that challenge, the expert generation. I think that thing you got it from your daughter. The long discussion.
Yeah, I hope my daughter is not hearing this.
Thank you so much, Michael, for coming today. It was really an honor and a pleasure meeting with you today. So thank you so much.
Thanks.
Have a great day. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. I really enjoyed talking with Michael today, and I'm pretty sure that you're going to enjoy this episode as I enjoyed very, very much. This is a very special edition for the Step T with El Sayed from the IWA World Water Congress. Please stay tuned and wait for the next one. Thank you.